Hi guys, my name is Bhumi. I'm the founder of Interi Market, where we're building a platform for employers and highly skilled contractors and interims. Now, we're building technology not just for today, where you can basically, as an employer, get direct access to your talent pools, but we're also building the technology for future of work, where you're able to get data and intelligence, smart matchmaking, as well as make those important business decisions that today you have to heavily rely on either your finance or procurement teams and a lot of multiple third parties. Now, as we know, every single organization here today has some form of managing their interim skilled recruiters, and that is either happening through their RPOs or managed service providers, which then further goes down to multiple staffing agencies, right? So there is no in-house direct connection between an employer and these highly skilled labor pools. And we know how these staffing agencies work as well with the RPOs and MSPs. We have multiple of PSLs, and that just is not fun when it comes to quality talent, especially with speed. So 3 key questions I have, and it'd be really great to get some participation, because that will help us understand what we're building and how relevant and useful it is for the future of work. How many of you have visibility or direct access instantly into your skilled contractor talent pools? Just one? Okay, excellent, okay. How many of you have access to those costs as well? And by here costs, I don't mean the monthly invoice that you get from an MSP or an RPO or your partner, but mainly the cost that you pay your talent. What is your talent worth? Very interesting. And finally, how many of you outsource this human capital management to third parties? And again, here MSPs and RPOs are part of our solution, but we're talking more about third parties like staffing agencies. Right, great. So some familiar faces here, and it's nice to see you guys, but most people that don't know me, I started temping, then contracting, and then been an interim overall for nearly 9 years. And in my 9 years, I've only ever used a recruitment agent once to get a gig. My gigs have always been direct and lasted from anything between 3 months, 6 months to 9 months. And what I have found recently as well, I mean almost every day, that I get emails from recruitment agents calling me for jobs like financial controller, and I am quite frankly not into finance. I'm actually pretty terrible if I became a financial controller because I'm an HR person. So we trust these agencies to give us quality, to represent our brand into an increasingly growing labor and talent marketplace where actually they are turning talent off. And my preference is to go direct, as is tons and tons of other interims and skilled contractors today. Everything related to talent is changing, as we know. In the past, just over a decade ago, almost 80% of permanent recruitment used to happen through agencies, and there was hardly any focus on employer brand about 10, 15 years ago, right? But today, that's completely shifted. With inventive LinkedIn and similar online social media tools, we're able to do over 80% recruitment permanent directly. 20 to 22% of our teams currently are skilled contractors, and over 75% of candidates, regardless whether they're interims, temps, or permanent, will look at your employer brand before accepting an offer. What does the future hold for this talent? The future is that over 40% of our teams are going to be skilled contractors and interims, and this has been reported by extensive search and research conducted by LinkedIn, Wall Street Journal, et cetera, et cetera. What that means is that interim candidates need to be stopped being treated as second-class citizens in organizations. Today, we do not place equal emphasis and importance on this talent that actually comes to our rescue when we need them most. But by 2020, we are going to have to change that outlook. It is like a ticking time bomb, so we better start treating these candidates well. Social media and direct recruiting is very much the trend. Interims of any age, whether they're millennials, over 40s, over 50s, prefer that direct contact, and so do organizations and businesses, because they save a whopping 15 to 20% directly on just hiring that individual. And finally, more and more staffing agencies are becoming less and less relevant. Pure reason because they do not understand the skill set. They do not understand what contract requirements you need and how quickly. The return on investment with staffing agencies is disappearing quicker than we know it. Yes, so as we know, interim staffing is going to be increasing. And our vision here at Interi Market is to enable organizations to not only hire, but onboard your current talent pools and rehire them directly without having to pay staffing agencies. The ongoing challenges, after having spoken to multiple interims, skilled contractors, and in-house recruiters, is attraction and onboarding. They currently have no in-house databases of this talent. Engagement and retention, which is where the whole rehire piece comes in play. So as an in-house team or as an in-house recruiter, if I had recruited a brilliant program manager 10 months ago, I don't have that person direct access to go and rehire them. And finally, data analytics and future of work. This is exactly what we're tackling. Currently, staffing agencies in this space cost UK businesses 30 billion. Literally for finding you the right talent, which with a solution like Interi Market, you could avoid. The cost of wrong hires is costing businesses 16 billion. This is not having the right talent in the right time, in the right place. And the lack of talent, the empty seats, which we've heard repeatedly in professional services as a huge challenge to UK businesses. Here's a quick customer feedback. So we did a test with our recent version launch with Central Media, and the recruitment manager absolutely loved the solution, not because of only the costs and return on investment, which I'll talk about in a second, but because this was the sort of tool that got him to get his data from 10 different staffing agencies into one place, which meant is that on average, before Interi Market, he was spending 8K per hire and 4 to 5 weeks to recruit a media consultant, a digital consultant, a program manager. After Interi Market, that cost was reduced down to substantially, you can see that, and the average time was 1 week to hire and get that bum in the seat. The return on investment was over 100K per individual, and Central Media just has about 50 or 60 consultants or contractors. So you can imagine the return on investment we've made for them for spending a monthly SaaS model fee with us. So we'll go quickly into a product demo. We've got about 1.5 minutes, where what I want to show you is what we look like currently. This is our landing page. Very quickly, I'm going to log into being an employer. The sign-up process for employers is very simple. It's a 2-step process. And because I'm already signed up, so I'm going to log in. And what you can do in the step 2 is literally build your company profile. We are going to automate that in our version 2 next year. And voila, it lands you into your dashboard, into your own private dashboard, where you will see that there is a search functionality which works very much like, search functionality, which works very much like LinkedIn. So basically, you can just put anything you want to search, whether it's a name, a company, or a job title, and it will start showing the results. There is also an advanced way of searching, which once you explore the platform in more detail, you'll be able to see. So there are filters and all sorts of things. But what you get access here is straight away to your talent costs. So this is something that if you couldn't see before, you can see now. Right? It's all available at your fingertips. You can now also, through this platform, basically have a look at your team members. You can invite team members who you want to be managing that staff, because you don't want to be managing all those people, so a business manager or a workforce manager, and this will be continuously enhanced. You can see how your team members look, and then onboarding talent is the key piece here, which is, again, very, very simple. Once you send an invite to onboarding a talent, which I'm going to try and pause this, it worked. When you send an invite, they get a unique link, and as soon as they click on it, they have a stepwise process to basically fill in their profile. What we are doing at Interi Market is studying the DNA of your interim candidates. And that is because we want to enable organizations to be able to find similar talent at a click of a button, or even rehire the same talent if they want to in the future, without having to go out and invest that time again in recruiting from scratch. So here's the kind of detail that comes up. I've lost it again. And right, so we're at onboarding talent. I should have done this live. And we're also constantly refining the sort of information that is available here. But as you will see, we can very quickly rate, review these candidates. We can extend the contracts. We can find similar talent, all at a click of a button. Under your closed pools, now this is where you can see all of your other candidates that have worked for you, I don't know, 6 months ago, 12 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. Right? So if you wanted to rehire them, you can again do that at a click of a button. This is where you can see your jobs dashboard if you wanted to post jobs, which is part of your package on a monthly basis, depending on how many candidates you're managing on Interi Market. And then you have followers and following. Now, what we're really trying to do here is we're trying to help organizations build a brand as an employer for interim and skilled contractors. This is something that organizations started about 15 years ago in the permanent market, and this is exactly what we're trying to help companies do with interims and skilled contractors. I would like to end with a quote from Steve Jobs, which is, "Innovation is the difference between leaders and followers." And so today we're disrupting this very traditional sector, and if you've got any questions or would like to discuss this further, please come and chat to us. Thank you.